What's up, everyone? The demo for one of the most visually stunning indie games I've seen in years is out right now, and you need to try it out. Replace finally launches on March 12, 2026, after a development journey that's been, well, let's just say it's been a lot. I'll have chapter markers below in case you want to jump around the different sections. So if you're wondering what Replaced is, it's a 2.5D sci-fi retro-futuristic action platformer that blends pixel art with modern 3D lighting in a way that honestly shouldn't work as well as it does. The developers, Satcast Studios, describe it as a cinematic retro-futuristic action thriller. And when you see this game in motion, you'll understand why they needed to invent new genre labels for it. You're playing as Reach, which stands for Research Engine for Altering and Composing Humans. And here's where it gets interesting. Reach is an AI that's been trapped inside a human body against its will. So imagine being a digital consciousness that suddenly has to deal with pain, hunger, cold, and all the messy biological stuff that comes with being human. The game takes place in an alternate 1980s America. In this timeline during World War II, the US government made a catastrophic decision. Instead of dropping nuclear bombs on Japan, they detonated them on their own soil. This created a nuclear winter that permanently scarred the American landscape and led to a completely different technological and societal progression. Fast forward to the 1980s, and you've got this fascinating clash of neon 80s aesthetics mixed with post-apocalyptic survivalism. The world is split between Phoenix City, which is this walled-off enclave where the wealthy elite live in their neon-lit cyberpunk paradise. And then you have the exclusion zone, the wasteland outside the walls where the disposals live. And yes, they are called disposals because that's literally how society views them, disposable humans. Phoenix City is controlled by the Phoenix Corporation, and these are your typical evil corporate overlords. They created Reach, and they're harvesting human organs from the disposals to sustain the elite. It's dystopian cyberpunk in the purest sense, exploring themes of transhumanism, corporate corruption, and what it actually means to be human. Alright, so now let's get into the gameplay because this is where Replaced really sets itself apart. The game uses what the developers call a 2.5D perspective. Your character moves on a 2D plane like a traditional side-scroller, but the environment is fully 3D. This isn't just a gimmick though, it means that the camera can pan, zoom, and shift dynamically to create these cinematic moments. You can move between the foreground and background layers to solve puzzles, grab items, and explore the environment. And here's the kicker, they're doing all of this with pixel art characters. The developers admitted that they shot themselves in the leg by choosing to do pixel art in a 3D environment because maintaining the illusion of 2D sprites while having a dynamic 3D camera is incredibly difficult. They had to hand paint thousands of individual sprites to cover every possible angle and lighting condition because they're not using skeletal animation. It's insane, but the result is this beautiful hybrid that looks unlike anything else. Combat in Replaced is heavily inspired by the Batman Arkham games, but adapted for a 2D plane. It's all about rhythm and timing, not button smashing. You'll see visual indicators above enemies' heads showing when they're about to attack, and you need to react with dodges or parries. Successful defensive moves let you chain together special attacks and finishers. You'll face different enemy types, feral gang members, armored security forces, shielded enemies that require specific strategies. There's even a faction called the Termites, led by a guy named Uncle Ben, who's described as looking like a cybernetic LeChuck, which is a wild reference for all you Monkey Island fans out there. Reach also has access to a pistol, but it's not a spammable weapon. It operates on a charge mechanic. You have to engage in melee combat to build up the charge needed to fire a shot. So it's all integrated into the melee rhythm system. The platforming is described as cinematic, drawing comparisons to games like Inside and Little Nightmares. So we're talking realistic physics and animations, not arcade-style jumping. You'll be running, climbing, and navigating through dilapidated structures in this beautifully decaying world. And the game isn't just linear action either. There are hub areas where you can explore at a slower pace, interact with NPCs, and take on side quests that flesh out the lore, because this is very much a narrative-driven experience. Now we need to talk about the development history, because it's honestly remarkable that this game exists at all. Sadcast Studios was founded in 2018 in Minsk, Belarus by Yura Stanovich and Igor Gritsey. They came from mobile game development and wanted to create a premium single-player PC and console title that pushed the boundaries of what pixel art could be. They announced Replaced at E3 2021 during the Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase, and the reveal trailer immediately made waves. People were blown away by the visuals and the music. The game was even nominated for Best Trailer at the Easy Allies Award in 2021. But then in February 2022, everything changed. The Russia-Ukraine war broke out, and Belarus's involvement in the conflict made it impossible for the studio to stay there. The team included developers from both Ukraine and Belarus, and suddenly they were in an untenable situation. The studio made the incredibly difficult decision to relocate from Minsk to Limassol, Cyprus. Development completely halted during this transition as the team reorganized and tried to settle down in a new country. And this wasn't just a logistical challenge, it took a real human toll as one of the developers was drafted into the Ukrainian army. The team faced immense mental and emotional stress, and tragically, the studio's art director passed away during development. This led to multiple delays. The game was originally slated for 2022, then it was pushed to 2023, then 2024, then 2025. Each time the studio was transparent about why: the war, the relocation, the technical complexity of what they were trying to achieve. In August 2024, they admitted that their 2024 target had been optimistic and that they refused to compromise on quality. Finally, on December 4th, 2025, they announced the final release date, March 12, 2026, and the demo is available right now for you to experience a slice of what they've been working on. Before we wrap up, let's talk about what to expect at launch. Replaced is coming to Xbox Series X and S and PC via Steam, Epic Game Store, and GOG. And if you're an Xbox Game Pass subscriber, it's launching day one on Game Pass for both console and PC. The game supports 16 languages at launch, showing they're going for a broad international release. And while early announcements mentioned Xbox One, the marketing has shifted focus to Series X and S, though some store pages still show cross-generation compatibility. Replaced represents something special, a game that emerged from genuine hardship, created by a team that refused to compromise their vision despite facing circumstances that would have killed most projects. It's a technical achievement blending pixel art and 3D in ways that shouldn't work but absolutely do. It's a narrative about what it means to be human, told through the eyes of an AI for to experience mortality. The demo is available right now on Steam and Xbox, so go try it out for yourselves, see if the combat feels as satisfying as it looks, get lost in those gorgeous environments, and experience the opening of Reach's journey. Then on March 12th, we'll get to experience the full game. After 5 years of anticipation, delays, and previous building hype, Replaced is almost here, and from everything we've seen, it might just live up to that hype. If you guys enjoyed this video, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more content. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.